Today is President's Day. It's a birthday for three past American presidents. I know George Washington is one, and there's two others. I don't think they're all on exactly the same day. I think they were maybe a day or two, one way or the other. But they just kind of picked, one day and said, "Well, this we'll celebrate this as President's Day." You can look them up. You can find out exactly which one. Now, the second thing I'm going to cover, I need to warn you. This you might there's a few of the more sensitive people that might want to cover their eyes because I'm going to cover something pretty uh, frightening here. But anyway, yeah, a comment I got to now I posted over on Bad Caps and spiritual forums. Comment that your Desert Rat is not dead. I'm Desert Rat in those two forums. I'm Desert Rat on 4 or 5 different internet forums. I haven't got to post it. I need to remember my password on these forums so I can get in there. I just haven't remembered the password. I've been kind of lazy too. But on Bad Caps, well, that's for capacitors. I'm going to show you two capacitors. Well, somebody posted on, in fact, I need to make a comment. I need to post on the video. Anyway, someone said they see dead capacitors. Now, if you go to badcaps.net and go to the general section and look at the comment made by me by Desert Rat, you'll see this response. Now, I'm going to create a video just for badcaps.net showing a picture of a dead capacitor. Now, I'm going to show you two. I'm warning you. Now, the more sensitive people might want to cover their eyes. But I'm going to show you. Now, this one isn't really dead. It's one of those multi-section ones, but it was off. I don't remember the rating on those, but it was on an indoor blower motor. It's supposed to be like 10 microfarad. That's what I put back in as a 10 microfarad capacitor. But this one of those ones you use jumpers and get a combination to get what you want. But this one was maybe 5 or 6 microfarad. When they use the proper jumpers, they've just been a long time. They're just worn out inside. I think the foil burns off inside these. I think it's what happened. But this one's not quite dead, but it was kind of sick. Was way off. I don't know why I kept it. I thought, well, if I need one close to that. But anyway, and I'll show you another one. Now this one, I don't know if I need to take a meter. Now I've got a meter where I can actually check these things. They're pretty easy. Now this one, I don't know if it's dead. This is what they look up on top. This one is supposed to be 45 microfarad and then 5 microfarad. Where they use these is on air conditioners. The 45 microfarad is a oil running capacitor for the compressor, and the 5 microfarad is for the outside fan motor. This is I can show you the circuit on these. There's a real simple circuit they use on these. In fact, I remember that I don't know if this one's good or not. A lot of times when if they're good, I leave them alone. If they're bad, I replace them. If they're off enough to affect the operation of a unit, I'll replace them. Now I don't know if this one's open internally, or if it's a unit. If I replace the compressor, I'll just automatically use a brand new running capacitor because it's kind of cheap insurance to use a brand new running capacitor. I said I don't know if this one may be open internally. I don't know. There's a common terminal there, and then one of the other terminals is for the compressor, one is for the fan motor. I remember a number of years ago, a guy was watching me wire one up, and he goes, "Does it make any difference that you hook one of those up?" And I said, "Yeah, they have to be wired right." It's one of those things that if you're knowing what you're doing, it's really, really simple. If you don't, you can get in trouble real quick. Of course, a lot of people will do stuff, like one wire, one terminal at a time. If you do that, generally okay, but you're better off to know what you're doing before you tackle anything, electrical like that. But that's too not quite dead. They call that one ill or sick because it was way off the rated. Now, what I'm going to do for bad caps, I'm going to get one. Now, what's a lot of times what they'll do if you say that it is flat, a lot of times they'll puff out. To me, it's like looking at a flat tire. You can look at it and tell exactly what's going on. I mean, if you see one where the end is all blown out, you know that it's bad. They don't always do that. I'm not sure why. I'm going to find one. I've got a bunch of them around here. I just went out this morning, and I couldn't find one. This is the first one I found, or these are the first two I found, so I just posted these. But I'm going to make another video saying dead capacitor, and then post that. I'll post it here on YouTube, and then posted as a response to that comment over on Badcap, show a picture of capacitor that the end is blown out on it. I've actually had them blow apart. I've seen them inside air conditioners where they're all blown apart. You know, the endo rupture off of them. It's just Chinese crap that their quality control's real bad. Anyway, I'm going to post that over on bedcaps.net. Next thing I'm going to cover now, I think about that comment that I made for Bunny and Beyond Van Life, that she kept deleting my comments. I'm not sure what that chick's kind of goofy anyway. Now, I'll make comments here on YouTube that, I'm looking for a girlfriend like that. Now, let me tell you what I'm doing. I've said this a number of times. I don't seriously expect a chick to respond to that. Now, what I'm doing now, there's another very prominent YouTube personality, another guy. I saw this. It was about 4 or 5 years ago, and someone said, "Well, you never see a woman in this guy's life. He's got to be gay." I don't personally believe that. I got that type of crap when I was a kid, and I don't care to have that here on YouTube. So if I periodically talk about wanting a girlfriend or wanting to meet up with another prominent YouTube personality, that's going to shut up any person that says I'm gay. So that's what I'm doing. I don't think I really want somebody. Not to discourage anybody. If some chick really, really wants to meet up with me, yeah, we'll go out and do a collab video. We'll do a code. We'll be polite to each other. I'll be nice to her. Yeah. If some chick wants to do a collab video with me, I'm open for it. I'll do it. We'll be nice to each other. You got my words of gentleman on that. But I said I don't think any chick's gonna really respond to that. Last thing I'm gonna cover for Bunny. If you seriously want to sit down and have a cordial discussion with me about anything you want, if it's something I know something about, I can discuss it back with you. Otherwise, you say, I'll say, well, Bunny, look, I don't understand it. I'm just going to sit here and look stupid and just say, I don't know what you're talking about. That's outside my realm of that's outside my knowledge base. That's outside my area of expertise. But anyway, like I said, I don't expect any chick to respond to that. Said I am straight. I do love chicks. I have had a handful of girlfriends, and 3 of them are no longer with us. One of them is over there at. I've covered that a number of times at the graveyard over there in just north of the Costco 99th and McDowell. She's been over there since '93, and we got a little girl together. I need to get back with my little girl because she's got kids of her own. Real cute. I've got real cute grandkids. Sometime I'm gonna make a video here, post it on YouTube. I've got a couple. If you search them here on YouTube from a couple of years back, I need to make some fresh ones. I got one real cute one of my granddaughter Matilda. Such a cutie pie. My oldest grandson is like 16. He'll be 17 this summer. So nice guy, but he's not cute. I don't think he wants to be considered cute. But anyway, let me get to the last thing. I've covered astral projection here a number of times. Now, there's quite a bit of information here on YouTube on astral projection. There's a how-tos on it. I've tried those. I've downloaded a bunch of those, put them on my phone. I played one earlier this morning. I'm gonna play some later. Now, I'm asking. I'm gonna ask several different questions, astral projection related. First, are there any of my viewers that can't consciously astral project? The reason I say that because we all go out of body at night. We don't remember, or most of us don't remember. Some people remember as dreams. Now, if you can consciously astral project, if you're lucky enough to have that skill, what do you do when you go out of body? You just hang around? Do you like to visit? Because there are astral projection meetup groups. Various places of interest. Maybe like to visit haunted places. Try to interact with the ghosts of there. Well, when you're out of body, when you're out there in the astral plane, you're exactly the same thing as a ghost. That's what you're. Except you have only difference. You've got a living, breathing body to return to. That's the only difference between someone in their astral body and an actual ghost is that you've got a living body to return to. Now, do you have lots of astral sex with either maybe your life term partner? There's people that will deliberately go out of body to meet up with people that have passed on. There's lots of people that love to do that. They just like to interact with them, have astral sex, have all kind of maybe go out to, one of them is in a living body, the other one is in an astral body. But that didn't make any difference. They're still they're still carrying on their life-term commitment. I mean, there's people who do that. Nothing wrong with it. That's fine. Or do you like to meet up with now? Maybe people of history, maybe Nefertiti, maybe Princess Diana. I mean, once you leave your physical body, the moralities, the laws of conscious reality no longer apply. So if you're with a life-term partner, that doesn't make a difference. You're out there in the astral body. That may or may not to you. I'm just saying that's something that, well, that's just part of the way things are. That you can meet up with anybody you want. Maybe have astral sex with Queen Elizabeth II. That would certainly be very interesting. Now, let me get to astral sex. My understanding of it. Now, there's more than one form. Now, the two that I'm familiar with is something close, type of sex that's like, close to what we humans would consider, in physical waking reality, and it's something called melding. Now, if I can I'll give you my understanding of melding. Now, you join energies, you join consciousness with another entity. This is a very, very intense experience that you're sharing. God, it's kind of hard to explain it. If you go on YouTube, I'm sure you can find people covering this, and it's in older books on astral projection. You can look this up. But melding, it's a very deep, a very intense. You're sharing everything on a very soul level. So unless you're prepared for that, you're probably better off not to engage in melding. That's the way it's been explained to me. I think what else I cover. I covered everything I was going to cover because I didn't make a list for this morning. Guess if some chick wants to meet up with me on an astral plane, there's probably a handful of chicks. Now, I've consciously willed my astral body, to meet up with different chicks for different activities. If you appreciate that, hey, let me know. If you don't appreciate that, let me know. If you're not on my list and want to be included, hey, let me know. Maybe leave a comment on this video because I'm not sure what emails work and what doesn't. Because I've had people tell me they've sent me emails and I don't get them. So I'm not sure what's working anymore or not. I'm not sure what addresses I'm giving out is correct because I may be giving out the wrong addresses on my emails. But said if your check-in wants to be included or don't want to be included, hey, let me know. I certainly respect that. This is for chicks. Now, another thing I want to cover on astral sex. Now, there are entities out there on the astral plane that have never been human. I'm not sure if they would be interested in anything, like astral sex on any level. Now, there are beings out there that don't have gender. Now, for me, I would only be interested in a being that identifies themselves close to human and female. That would be the only one I would ever consider having astral sex with. But if you go out on your astral body, what would you be interested in doing? Trying to meet up with ghosts, trying to interact with them, trying to find out why this thing earthbound. If it's someone of the opposite sex, or if you're into the same sex thing, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying I don't practice it. But if you do, would you be interested in that? Not with me, but with someone else? If they were a willing partner in that, would you be curious about that? Would you want to try to interact with a being that had never been human? Maybe a being that doesn't have gender? I'm just putting it out there. I'm just curious what my other viewers are interested in there. It kind of boggles the mind thinking about it. Okay, to quote Kohler Brown, let's all stay spooky. To quote, I don't know who it was, let's stay interesting. Das Leben ist ein Abenteuer and Celebi. Ciao and goodbye. Oh, I can't say that French one. Ciao, I can say ciao, but there's another one in French I can't say it. But, Adios.